seasons. Did you ever trademark you played to win the game?
Dan, I did not. And, someone told me to do that, and I was like, I missed out on that one.
How often do you hear that in the course of a day or a week?
Yeah, every time you're traveling, right? When I go back to the worldwide leader, to the mothership in the airport. Hey, coach, and I know before they even say it, Dan, I go, I know, I said it, I get it.
Had you used that line before you got to the press conference?
Nope.
That just came up.
Just came out. Dan, just came out. It was like, and it was funny because we're sitting there at 2-5. This is my second season, I think it is, yeah. And we're struggling, and they're talking about, am I going to fire coaches and all that? And so I'm getting revved up as they're talking. And then I just spit it out. I went, you play to win the game, right? And so it was on a Tuesday and the players were off. And on Monday, they come in, Wednesday, they come in and they say, Coach, we heard what you said. I was getting ready to have a team meeting. And Chad Pennington stands up and he goes, Coach, we heard what you said. And I said, are we good? And I looked at the team and everybody, we're good, Coach. We won the division.
So it worked.
It turned around. And I didn't mean it for that, but I just meant it like, hey, man, we're trying to win a game, guys. I said, it doesn't matter. We need to go win a football game. And it flipped the switch.
Can you have a must-win situation in week 2?
Yeah.
Like the Dolphins situation against the Patriots feels really tenuous here.
Yeah, they need to, because of what transpired last year, right? And all of a sudden, this is not the same team we saw 3 years ago. They're a shell of what they were. And I don't think coach might not make it if they lose 2 or 3 more. Him and the guy at the Giants.
Yeah, Brian Dable.
Well, what will happen with the Giants is this, and I said this. What will happen is if they get to 1-3, they're going to change the quarterback. They got to, because that's the quarterback of the future. You got to put the guy in the game. I mean, just play him. That's what I did when I changed from Vinny to Chad. We were sitting there, and I was on air. We were on an airplane. We lost to Cleveland, and we were coming back, and I was in the back. I always sit in the back with the players, and I told the stewards to go get Hackett, was the offensive coordinator. I said, bring him back to the planes to work. We had lost to Jacksonville. I'm sorry, we had lost to Jacksonville. And he comes back in the back, and I said, I'll make the change. He said, what are we talking about, Coach? I said, we're going to change quarterbacks. When? I said, this week. I said, we're putting 10 in the game. That was Chad. And then we ended up, getting in the playoffs, winning 10 games.
Yeah, but now was Chad, how long had he been in the league?
He'd been in the league about 2 years. It was the second year because Bill drafted him, but Benny was still there. And I got there, and Benny started the first year, and we got in the playoffs. And the second year, we were shaky, and then I said, you know what, we got to change, and I put him in, and we ended up, that's the year we won a division.
But see, that's where I don't know. I like Jackson Dart. I think he's a starter in the league. I think he's got a lot of talent.
Yep.
I just don't know if
he's ready.
Well, I don't know if the team is ready for him to go in and that he doesn't, I don't want his confidence crashed.
Nah, you know what, though? And people say that, Dan, and I get all that. But, there's a reason you drafted this guy this time. And I go, you know what? Peyton Manning threw 28 interceptions, guys, his first year. And if you draft a guy where you think he's going to crack under pressure, you drafted the wrong guy. You can't draft that guy. That's the first thing you got to understand.
But I'm not talking about cracking under pressure as much as, if you don't have the offensive line blocking for you, or you don't have
no doubt,
running
no doubt.
game.
But and correct. But the first thing you do basically is when this happens, and what I've done, I walk in the defensive room and tell him, say, hey, I'm getting ready to put him in the game. And I said, let me tell you what he's going to do. He's going to throw the ball to the bad guys. He ain't going to mean to do it. He's going to throw it. When he throws it to him, hold him to a field goal. So don't get mad. And sure enough, when that happens, the defensive players come off the field. They go, Coach, you told us it's okay. We're all right with it. I said, no, I told you this week in practice he's going to throw it to the bad guys.
One thing I don't understand is, and we saw this with Jordan Love last night. He lowers his shoulder.
Yeah.
I'm sure you told your quarterbacks, get out of bounds, slide. It's September. Why do these guys feel like they need to be football players?
I have no idea. And it's almost like you tell them, hey, man, look, Look, knowing the journey's over, slide or get out of bounds. Just don't. We know you're a tough guy. You play quarterback. You got to be tough to play quarterback because you get hit a lot. But don't run into guys. And I said, I always tell those quarterbacks, protect your throwing shoulder. You always make sure when you get tackled, protect that because you got to play the next play.
He lowered his throwing shoulder.
I know. They're going to show that. This is one of those moments where when you get into film study, you put this on tape for everybody, for the whole team to watch. You go, you see our quarterback? He's a tough guy. Okay, you showing everybody you're tough. I don't want to see this again.
You play to play another play.
Yes.
We're talking to Herm Edwards, ESPN football analyst. When do you get a true sense of how good or bad your team is? Like how many games for you?
I would say with the schedule now, after a month of football, you got a pretty good feeling of kind of what you are. And then your question is this: how do we adjust to the players we have? What do we need to do different if you're struggling, right? And that's that first month you're going to find out after a month you go, okay, here's the deal. If you're 1-3, you're going, okay, why are we 1-3? First of all, what is our strength? Let's play to our strength now, because we're not going to get any new players. These are the guys we got. So what is our strength? What do we do well? I know we want to do this on offense. I know we want to do that on defense. We've done it for a month, boys. It ain't working. This is what you're telling your staff. So we got to fix this. It's our job to fix it now, because we're stuck with these players, and these players are stuck with us. So how do we fix it? And that's what you go about doing then.
If the Packers played the Eagles today, who would win?
Probably the Packers.
Okay.
I think the Packers are really good, Dan. I think people lose sight of the Packers of this sense. I'm going to say this to them. They were 5th in total defense last year. People don't realize that. They were 5th. You know, when you think of the Packers, you think of this offense. Oh, boy. They got a really good defense. They do a nice job of taking the ball away. And here's the crazy part. Last year, they were 8th in the league in sacks. They had 45. They got this guy number 1 now. They gave him the number of Curly Lambeau. They let him use the number. Now they've gone from a 45 sack team to a 60-plus sack team with that guy number 1. They're a totally different defense now with him.
But I still have to trust the Eagles and Chiefs until they lose.
I trust them, but I worry about this. The Eagles lost some players, right? They lost some guys now, okay? And every week, we went through this when I was with the Eagles when we went to the Super Bowl. We didn't win, but we lost. The next year was very difficult.